Hello and welcome back to South Coast Busways, where we are looking over Waterlooville, because last episode we dealt with Havant. We got a new bus garage, we got deckers for the 110, not 110, it was deckers for the 110, and we put in the new 120. So now it's time to have a look at Waterlooville right next door, where we have a few bus routes, as you can see. I believe these are, scrolling through, bear with, we have a lot of routes. We have the 108, which runs from Crookhorn down here to Wecock up here. If that will load, it would be very nice if it would load. There we go, there's the 108, Crookhorn to Wecock. Very nice route, very good. The 109, which runs from Havant up through Waterlooville to Denmead. The 110, which runs from Hailing Island up through Havant to Denmead again. And the 115, which runs from Portsmouth way down there to Clanfield way up here. So, let's use this episode to get a bit more in the way of a town system going in Waterlooville. I'm going to start with the 106, which will run also, as the 108 does, from Crookhorn to Wecock, but it'll go the other way around Crookhorn, and a different way to Wecock, and then a different way around Wecock. So, that's going to be the 106. Because, if you don't remember that episode, or you weren't there for that episode, the way that we're doing the local services in this area is Havant gets odd numbers and Waterlooville gets even numbers. So, yeah, it's time to do the 108. Not 108, the 106. If the game would like to respond. There we go. 152nd route of the series. Wow. 106. Crookhorn to Wecock. So let's get down to Crookhorn. And we'll put the stop there, and that's going to say Purbrook, size equals 75, small caps, Crookhorn Estate, small caps, size equals 100%, and now it's time to get the route in. So if the game would like to respond, that would be nice. But post me, if you don't mind. And the 106 is now in, between Crookhorn and the Wecock Estate. So, fairly simple route, 52 minutes end to end. And it's a little crosstown local thing in Waterlooville. What's not to love? So I'll get timetable made. This is going to run up to every half hour. Probably with an hourly timetable and then another hourly timetable stacked on top of it. and then probably hourly on Sundays. So we'll see. And the timetable for the 106 is now done. Running every hour, or running every half hour, with, well, half-hourly service starts at 6:48 and ends at 21:48 from Crookhorn, and starts at 6:22 and ends at 21:22 from Wecock. Either side of that, it's every hour, and on Sundays, it's every hour. This will have a vehicle requirement of just 2, because I've managed to get that to be roughly equal, so that's very nice. And this will run with EMs. Where are they? There they are. It's going to be a lot of EMs today, because that's what we're using for local services out of Fitzwigram. Let's activate that now, because, oh, actually, that's probably a bad idea. Oh well. So next route to do is going to be a service from Purbrook to Horndean, but it's going to be quite circuitous, and we'll get to that when the game decides that it wants to work. This is going to be the 102, so let's get the 102 doing. So it's going to do this part of Purbrook. It's going to go up through Waterlooville, then across and through this way, then down a bit and across and up the side, and then Horndean is just off the top of the map here. So I'll see how we send it to Horndean. At the moment I kind of want to send it up this way. I think that's possible, but we'll see. 153rd route of the series, let's go. (102) Purbrook to Horndean. There we go. So we are going to start down here, and we will have that, and that's going to have the destination blind say Purbrook. Thanks, Ashen. Size equals not minus 5%. Small caps. Park school. Size equals 100%, so that anything that comes after it in the UI looks normal. Then let's find where we are, and we'll put stop there, and then next one over there. No, actually, we'll come out of Purbrook like this. Then we'll have a stop there. Ooh, that's fun. Then a stop. Oh, of course, we can't do that. No, that's not allowed. That is forbidden. Nope, that's also bad. We'll have it there. And then we've got to go like that. So yeah, post me, if you don't mind. And there is the 102 from Purbrook to Horndean. Now what I'm a little bit tempted to do is have these have the 102 and 104 interwork by changing routes at Horndean. So we'll see what we can do with that, because I do think that would be fun. So yeah, timetable, let's go. Okay, so the timetable for the 102 is now done. And the funny thing I wanted to do with interworking with the 104, yeah, that's not going to happen. This timetable actually works fairly well. And I can give it 5 minutes of break at the Purbrook end, which is even better. Then I'm going to have a look at the Sunday timetable and see how that works. Maybe it'll interwork with the 104 on a Sunday. And so I keep this how it is, but it'll interwork with the 104 on a Sunday. Nope, that can remain 5 minutes. And then Sunday I'll take all the break out. I didn't put any in. And then just allow it to interwork on a Sunday with the 104. There we go. There's the 102. And that's ready to operate out of Fitzwigram. And we'll activate that now. Why not? Now, the thing to note with interworking routes in City Bus Manager is that the interworking doesn't start straight away. It waits until the next day in the timetable to commence all interworking. So, we will need to wait. But that's how things are, so, you know. Oh well. Right, so now it's time to put in the 104 from Purbrook Park School to Horndean Precinct. So, that's size equals 75, small caps, Park School, size equals 100%, so that all the UI coming after it looks normal. Then let's send it up this big main road into Purbrook, and yeah, I will see you, well, post me if you don't mind. And the 104 is now in place. So this is going to run up to every half hour during the day, and on Sundays it'll run every hour and interwork with the 102. And the timetable for the 104 is now in place. This runs every half hour, from about 7 till about 10, and then hourly either side of that, and on Sundays it runs hourly interworking with the 102. So that is that, and we will activate that now. So those three are sort of what we're going to consider the core of, or what we're going to consider the core of what we do today. We will also have, because I've been tempted for a long time to put in a route that goes from Havant up this really nicely shaped road. I don't know, so it's really pleasing, and that's going to go up to Bishop's Waltham via Southwick and North Boarhunt. But I'm not sure what I want to run on it. It could be Enviros of some description, it could be Eclipses, I'm not sure. So I will leave that for later. But for now, I need to buy, I'm going to call it 8 Enviro 200 MMCs for these new services at Waterlooville. And here we are with our 8 new ADL Enviro 200 MMCs for the services around Waterlooville, finishing off with EM174 YX68GNN. So, these are for our new services 102, 104 and 106 in Waterlooville. Although they are going into the general pool of EMs based out of Fitzwigram. So, any of the Havant based, any of the ones that we currently use on Havant services could also end up on Waterlooville ones. So, you know, we'll see where the buses end up. And the game is really struggling. It's been struggling this whole time, and I've had it paused this whole time. So now the game's actually running. Oh dear. I'm not expecting fantastic things. And this is a lot. This is a lot. Anywho, we have buses to look at soon. TM. So, yeah. I mean, that was an introduction to the fleet. I'm going to wait over Havant and Waterlooville until we have something to look at. I might even take a break to save the game. And, like, you know, restart. Not restart the game fully. I don't necessarily need to do that. But just give the game a little bit of a moment to think by saving it and returning to the menu. So, yeah, I'll be back when I've done that, and when we have something to look at in Waterlooville. I've returned. We now have buses to look at on the 104, 102, 104 and 106. And we're going to be starting on the 104 from Horndean down to Purbrook. Then we're going to switch over to a 102. To head back up to Horndean, and then we're going to get on a 106 from, probably going to do a southbound run on the 106 from Wecock down to Crookhorn, that's what it's called. I would appreciate if the game would respond. So, let's start on the 104, heading down to Purbrook Park School. We running into the college there, Horndean Technology College, very nice. That one going the other way is very busy, which is very nice. The 102 and 104 over, no, 106 and 108 over there are very busy, very nice to see. And, yeah, oh, everything's busy, everything's very busy. There is an event in the city, so that makes sense. Now that I think about it, I think I meant to run the event in the city through before this episode. Oh well. So now we head up as if we were going to Denmead to serve this extra little bit on the side of Waterlooville. So, just quick jump across the side, very nice. Very busy, good to see, always. And Waterlooville Town Centre, also very busy. There's quite a few routes into Waterlooville actually. I completely forgot about the Is it the 5 that comes here from Portsmouth? I think it's the 5. So, you know, 5 is good. And this, I can't remember which way this goes into Purbrook. It's the 104. I think it's the one that goes over the top, rather than around the bottom. It looks like that would be what it is. So let's see, is it the one that goes over the top? It is the one that goes over the top. Very nice. But seeing as we've just missed one, but we have seen it since it started, let's get on this 102 and head up to... Up? That was a weird way of saying that letter. Up to Horndean on the 102, which is the same thing in the other direction, basically. And it does a different loop around Purbrook. Looks like we are comfortably on time, which is nice. It's always good to be on time. It's always good when the game decides it wants to work, which it's not really doing at the moment. I've certainly had better. But again, I don't think this save's ever been this big. It certainly hasn't. We really haven't made any sort of cutbacks anywhere. So, you know, it's just been a tale of non-stop growth on this save, which is always nice. Coming back down the main road now. Maybe a reasonable change would be to swap the 104, or 102, 104, and the 106, 108 with this bit. Have the 106, 108 go this way and the 102, 104 go this way. But, I don't know. I kind of like that it's a bit different. And that the routes have that bit of overlap there. I think that works. There's another thing coming out of the Horndean Technology College. Very nice. Then when we get back into Horndean, we're just going to zoom over to the Wecock estate, get on a 106, head down to Purbrook, and finish things off in Purbrook. It's very busy. We are full. Not anymore. Maybe the 115 needs bigger buses. Maybe it needs to run more frequently to Horndean. No, maybe every 10 minutes to Horndean, and then every half hour to Clanfield. Right. It's time to head back to the other way. That's a 104. That's a 106. Very nice. This is the 1252 to Purbrook. So it leaves, like, now. Nope, the game's just had a moment. It does not leave now. But look, there's a 300 up there. You can't see my cursor because it's the Windows loading wheel, rather than the CBM pointer. But there's a 300 there on the screen. 4 minutes late? That's not great. There's a couple of Enviros there. A couple of Solent Blue MMC deckers. A couple of 5s over in Southampton. And the 106 that we're looking at. Which is all very nice. Right. Okay. The game's done an autosave. So now it's time to follow this 106 down to Purbrook. It's basically the same route as the 108. Which has been in for a few episodes now. And it's a great success. But again, it's an event day, so it will be busier than usual by a factor of, or by about 2 times. So the fact that it's in the dark orange and sometimes in the red, I think bodes well for how the route's going to perform later. Now this is a routing error. That is bad. That should not be how that do. I should get rid of that other stop at Waterlooville precinct so that it can actually take the junction. Because really, that stop shouldn't be on the junction itself. You wouldn't have a bus stop in the middle of the junction. But now we're coming down is that Stakes Hill? I think that's Stakes Hill. In the southern side of Waterlooville. What's that? Is that that'll be either a 110 because the 120 stops in Havant. Yes. I'm good at recognizing my own roads. And now we are back at Crookhorn. So, with that, I'm going to round things off. If the game will pause. There we are. And let's head back to the Fitzwigram garage and have a look at our new additions to the fleet, if there are any still in. We do have more than enough buses. 8 was the right call. Probably could have gotten away with 6. But, you know, I like to have, you know, it's better to have too many buses than not enough. None of the new ones are in. So instead, let's finish by looking at these beauties. And on that note, I will see you next week from the South Coast. Bye bye.